Hey everybody, welcome to day 24 of my mental health journey. For those of you who aren't familiar with my channel, essentially I chronicle my day-to-day struggles with mental health, mainly anxiety, just with the hopes of connecting with folks who might be going through something similar, as well as providing a platform for people for whom I can't speak to share their stories and hopefully connect with more people in the process. Piggybacking off that, before I talk about what I want to talk about today, which will be brief because it's already nighttime and I'm just trying to make this video before I usually release it at 8. But a good friend of mine is going to hop on an interview with me tomorrow, just speaking about the current state of affairs in America, his thoughts on white supremacy, the police brutality that's going on. And I think it's going to shed a lot of light on just the Black perspective on things. He has a double identity, so to speak, too, because his family's all from Ethiopia, so he kind of brings like a truly African and American perspective to everything. And I just think it will be very interesting to have somebody for whom I can't speak shed light on, their opinion on what are truly historic events and will hopefully propel us to a better future as far as this country's concerned. So that's all I'll say for now. I'll be doing the interview tomorrow, and I'm super excited to share that. It's going to be pretty much all unscripted. I just want him to, share his opinions. I feel like that would be more valuable for people in general. So that being said, I just quickly want to talk about the concept of dealing with things alone and thinking that, you can do everything alone. And I've alluded to it many times that was my mind state for a long time, that I could just, like, if I were going through something, I could just, it might take longer, but I could deal with this myself. If I feel sad, for example, like I could reach out to other people, but like I can deal with this myself. It's a test of like my mental fortitude or whatever. And I've come to the general conclusion that, while there are things in life that are important to deal with alone, such as being able to face yourself, essentially, I think that just because you talk to somebody about your problems does not mean you're any less of a person. Like, people have this tendency to think that people don't want to hear their problems or they can just deal with it alone. And like, honestly, you probably could deal with it alone, but if you have resources and people who care to hear about your feelings and what you're going through, why would you shoot yourself in the foot? Like, I've had so many times where if I had just reached out to somebody and expressed myself, they would have told me something and I would have felt better immediately. And it took me basically making this entire series and just spilling my guts one time to realize, like, until like I'm willing to face my own demons and share my demons with other people, it's just going to be a lot more of an uphill battle as far as mental health is concerned. And I just want to, I won't shout out anybody by name, but there's so many people I could say that have really just reached out to me recently and shared like the fact that I'm not alone. That's made me realize that I'm not alone. So this is video 24, and I'm still like getting this same sort of support. And it just keeps reminding me that people support you and that there's so much more to life than just going through it alone. And there's actually a book I've been reading recently where the protagonist basically wants to be, solo dolo, all that kind of stuff. And but he has these amazing companions that he meets throughout his journeys and whatnot, and they always kind of remind him, like, you're so strange, like, you're very capable and whatnot, but you just totally deny help and aren't open to the idea of basically venturing on your journeys and going through life with extra people in the mix that will, one, make your life better, and two, they'll make it easier. They'll give you feedback and tell you when you're doing something wrong, and it's usually going to be constructive. Like, so it just got me thinking, like, I just finished this book, and I've alluded to it in the past, but I really have like thought that I had to go through everything alone. Even when I've had all these great friends, I just thought, like, well, they're my friend, but I don't necessarily want to like tap into them for a favor and whatnot. But then I started to realize, like, it's not a favor to like hold it down for your friend. Like, your friends want to hold it down for you because they love you. Your family wants to hold it down for you because they love you. So once I started realizing that like it wasn't a favor to reach out to other people, but it was just like a common act of friendship and companionship or whatever you want to call it, I've started to change my point of view as far as the need to be alone and the need to always like revert to seeing myself as the sole resource. Like, yeah, I'm glad that I've been able to go through some stuff alone. It's taught me a lot, but it's also like some of those lessons have been that I didn't need to go through it alone. And that's like what I'm really trying to advocate for, that you don't need to go through stuff alone. It'll put you back in a lot of situations. Sometimes it's good, but you just have to have the intuition to know like those two types of situations are very separate from each other. And I just think, at least in my own experiences, that if I had reached out to other people earlier on and like just been able to understand what in fact I felt about the situation wouldn't have been problematic for nearly as long as it had been. But anyway, guys, it's really hot in this car, and I don't want to keep talking before I start like sweating and everything, but just want to say I love you. And if you're going through something alone, know that you are not actually alone. And that there's people out there that are willing to talk, and it's not like putting something on them. It's, they'll listen to you because they love you, and I know you do the same for them. So be as kind to yourself as you would be to somebody else. Anyway, guys, I'm going to post this later tonight. Very much looking forward to posting the interview tomorrow with my friend, and I wish you guys a very nice and enjoyable Saturday night.